Hey guys, I had a lot of fun with today's video. I had a lot of really great throws and I got to throw some really awesome discs. And I also got to show off the brand new minty green V4 disc golf bag. Today's video, overall, absolutely epic. So if you guys could hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below, I would really appreciate it. Enjoy the video. What is up, disc golfers? Today on Iceberg TV, we have an extra special episode today. I have 3 discs that I'm really excited to share with you guys and throw out on the course today here at Reedy Creek. We're going to be playing 9 holes. Now, another reason why, not only because of the discs, this video is special, this is the first video that's going to be featuring the brand new Berg Sport V4 disc golf bag in this beautiful mint colorway. I'm so excited to finally get my hands on one of these. And you guys can also get your hands on one of these, and you can save 20% on these if you use my discount code in the description down below. I mean, this thing is absolutely beautiful. This is the bag I'm going to be using. I still like the black one, but the mint color just speaks to me a little bit more. All right, so the discs that we're going to be covering in today's video, they are Latitude 64 Overmold discs. They have been discontinued since 2019, but you guys know me, I'm a connoisseur of the rare and obscure discs. So we have the Ceric, which I actually got in the Next Gen Tournament Players Pack all the way back in 2018. We've got the Fuji Overstable Mid-Range, 4-speed, 2X line, opto, and gold rim. And then we have probably one of the more rare ones of today's video. We've got the Latitude 64 Zion. It is a 10-speed, stable distance driver. So very excited to be throwing these discs for you guys today. Reedy Creek, classic course. We'll go Ceric off the tee on one. And then we'll throw the Zion up the right side, see if we can hyzer one in there. All right, that slid up there into range. Let's see how the Zion flies. Beat it. Direct hit. So I was very excited to see Hunter from Foundation Disc Golf. Around a week, 10 days ago, they put out a video, and Hunter was actually throwing a Latitude 64 Zion, and he was really enjoying it.
Here's the deal. I haven't thrown this disc yet, but this is one of the greatest feeling discs of all time. I don't know why they don't make this, the Zion. They did a phenomenal job with the Overmold.
Dude,
it's
Zion
flawless.
Williamson in the Duke colors?
Yeah, it is in Duke color. It's a 9304. If that's accurate, this is going into my bag. Oh! It's in the basket and then in the bag. Get down. Crush. Is that gyro? Latitude 64, this is my official plea with you to bring back the 2X line.
And I've always been a fan of the Latitude 64 Overmolds. I think the gold line is so good for grip, and I think the opto line is so good for durability. It just combines the best of both worlds. And I'll try and do my putting with the Ceric. It's definitely a bit of a deep dish beadless putter, very similar to like a classic AVR, or it feels like a more slightly domey, more stable, deeper pixel. All right, 1 for 1. Ceric, easy birdie. Let's go. I gotta just admire this bad boy for a second here. Look how beautiful the new bag is. That new colorway looks absolutely incredible, and I'm stoked to be a part of Team Berg Sport. What I find interesting about these is I think they somehow figured out how to use a more traditional molding process, injection molding process, to make an overmold disc. But they don't split apart like the Clash ones do, but they don't have those obvious little injection points like some MVP discs do. So we have an old MVP tangent here, a very old one that uses their old injection molding process. And you can see it's got these little circles on here where you can see that where they've been injection molded. You can't really see those on the Ceric, which I find very interesting. So the older ones have the big dots for the injection points. And then we have a new Axiom disc here. And the injection points are a lot more subtle on these, but if you look very closely right there, you can see it has a much tinier injection point there. Now, I'm not entirely convinced that you guys care about that, but I think it's fun to nerd about the intricacies of how this different technology is made. Because I think Latitude 64, in all honesty, really optimized overmold technology. They're able to make overmold discs with a slight bit of dome, which is something that MVP and Axiom tends to struggle with. And they honestly just feel incredible overall. It's going to be a little short. Hit the very last tree. We'll try the turnover flick with the Zion here. Oh, that's absolutely parked. That's a heck of a toss, if I don't say so myself. We'll save the Seric for the green. Unfortunately, I do not have a Latitude 64 Goby, which is the fourth and final, to my understanding, Latitude 64 Overmold disc. But I am pretty happy with the set of 3 that I have. But I haven't been able to quite track down a Goby to finish the set here. Woo, corner pocket. That was a close one. Hole 3 lines up perfectly for the Seric, as long as I give it a little bit of height and a little bit of anhyzer to help it slide over to the pin here. Oh, it's a little too stable fading out at the end. Not quite enough anhyzer on that one. Let's try out the Fuji on a similar line. Oh, they're both pretty stable discs, but they handle the anhyzer really well. And I feel like normally I'm the person who makes those videos that makes people want to try those lesser known or more unique discs. So to my delight, it was really cool to see on Foundation Disc Golf, Hunter saying how much he liked the 2X line Zion. And I had actually, up until that point, had never heard of the Zion. I was only familiar with the Seric, the Fuji, and the Goby. So for me to actually learn something, you know, about a disc that I've never heard of was an actual absolute treat for me. And I wish the other content creators would spend more time on these lesser known discs, because I think that's some of the most fun content to, not only for me to make, but for also for me to watch on YouTube. All right, on that one, we did not have a birdie putt. I just laid up for par. I don't think you guys are too interested in seeing that. Hole 4, 214 feet. I do think this Seric is really the perfect disc for the shot. And this thing, I should show you the side profile. It's got quite a bit more dome than, like I said, basically any other MVP disc. MVP struggles, especially in the modern era, to put dome on the overmolded discs. So I just found a guy's Glow Envy on the ground. Still had the weight sticker on it. Basically looked like he probably threw it one time and then left it on the ground. I called the guy, got no answer. I don't know about just grabbing someone's disc and keeping it until I can personally get it back to them. I don't necessarily feel like that's my responsibility. So I took a picture of the disc inside the basket. I put it in the basket. Is that sufficient, or should I be guarding this disc with my life? What do you guys do when you find discs? Comment down below. I mean, that Seric is an absolute money disc. Now let's try the Fuji Flexor. Little more height, little more angle. Flex. Swing. Oh, the tree kick of a lifetime. Sweet, another birdie putt. We're gonna throw all 3 discs here. We're gonna go Seric, Fuji, and then the mighty Zion. I didn't expect myself to be able to get there with the Seric. That thing is a really good thrower. It's actually a little touch and go, I think, for me to even get there with the Fuji, but all I can do is rip it and hope. Oh. What's interesting about that disc in particular, those domier stable molds, they hold turn for so much longer than a flat disc that's stable. A flat disc that's stable will just kind of want to fight out and crash. Domi discs that are also stable will hold the turn for much longer, but still have that same reliable stability. And that's something I first learned from Gannon Burr. Gannon Burr, that was one of the big characteristics in flight that I heard him explain why he likes overstable Domi discs so much, because they hold the turn for so much longer, more so than flat discs. Has a chance. Oh, good shot. Another birdie putt for the Seric. The Seric is definitely making a case to be a throwing putter in my main bag. I think it would fit right alongside the Luna as a more stable, more fadey option. I love the Luna for turnovers and hyzer flips, but this guy I can force on a bit of ante. I can trust it pretty much full power flat. And it seems to be a really consistent thrower. I'm putting okay with it too. The Sarek is money. Hole 6, an absolute doozy of a par 3. It's going to be nearly 300 feet. Pretty difficult gap off the tee, and then a few trees to miss at the end. Probably only 2 of these discs are applicable for the shot, but I think the Zion is my #1 opportunity. Just going to try and pound it, nose down through the gap there, and hope to get a little bit of stability towards the end. Pounded it down the gap, but it's going to be a little too stable. I got a good tree kick that kept us in a reasonable spot. We'll also try the Fuji. Maybe if I force it over on a little Annie, it'll glide up there. Oh, that's a much better shot. Beat it. And skip. The Zion was just circle's edge, but pin high over there due to the good tree kick. I picked that up. We got the Fuji landed right here, tucked under some leaves. Almost couldn't find it. We've got ourselves back in Sarek range again for another birdie look. Putting A-okay with the Sarek. It's not something I would traditionally want to putt with, but it just has so much dome on it. I really feel like I don't have to force it too much. I can just kind of put it out there and glide. It's very similar flight-wise to the Pixel. Hole 7, 263, par 3. Pretty fluky hole. As long as you hit the gap, you have a chance to fade towards the basket, but there's a lot of trees to miss along the way. We're gonna go Sarek. That's about as good as I've ever thrown that. Oh! I hit the very last tree. That was, if that was 2 feet more left, that was an ace. That was exactly chain height, and it hit the very last tree that kind of protects the basket. That was so close. I'm still getting used to a lot of the form changes that I've been working on, but it's really starting to feel a lot more natural. I've been trying to use my eyes to dictate the angle of release. So I'm trying to pick my eyes up when I throw anhyzers, put my eyes down on hyzers, and keep my eyes flat on flat shots, just like I did there. And the eyes seem to be a good cue for me. Like if I want to throw an anhyzer and I'm using my eyes to kind of look where I want to pull through with the disc, it seems to just help me get there a lot more naturally. And I've been really struggling with backhand for a long time. It's gotten a lot better. I'm definitely by no means a natural backhander in disc golf. And I've been working really hard to get better at it. So when I finally find a cue that makes something easier for me, I mean, I hold on to it for dear life, and using my eyes to dictate the angle of release seems to be something that's extremely handy for me. And I did a video about that 2 days ago, and about 2,000 people saw it, and a lot of people liked that video in comparison to how many people actually watched it. And then a lot of people actually came back saying they tried it and they said it really worked for them. So anyway, using the eyes to dictate the angle of release that you're wanting, give it a go. So it was coming in on the perfect amount of hyzer, and it kicked this tree right here. It was coming in exactly at chain height. Hits this tree, pops up on hyzer, and I wind up in the drink. Unfortunate. Hole 8 is a relatively tricky shot. We are going to go with the forehand Fuji first, and then we'll throw the backhand Sarek. But I definitely think this hole lines up a little bit better for the flip-up forehand line. That's going to be a birdie putt. Oh, it hit a tree and stopped. So we're actually inside the circle. This is a very difficult backhand line. Typically, most people use a very understable disc. It's just such a tight line. You don't really have the room to throw the disc super flat. But we're going to give it a try. Oh, it's so touchy because to miss this tree, you've got to play the right side. But the fairway's kind of angled this way. So the more you keep pushing, the more this right side kind of creeps up, wanting to knock your shot out of the air. Which is why the hyzer flip line kind of allows you to play more starting from the right, but more to the left side of the fairway and kind of late flip towards the pin. I don't know, it's probably overcomplicating a simple shot. All right, this hole I very seldom even have a look at a backhand birdie unless I just get super lucky. Sarek landed right here. Let's put her up in there and see if we can get another Sarek deuce. Oh, come on. just a little bit low. The Fuji's 20 feet right of the basket, pin high. 2 good shots. Unfortunately, couldn't get the Seric bird again. So as long as you have an overstable disc, something you can trust on Annie, that will cut through the gap and then finish to the right. Hole 9 really isn't too complicated as long as you don't mind throwing the chop forehand. I think we have 2 discs that should fit the bill here, and then we can try the turnover backhand Seric, and then we'll be all done for the day. Nice little casual 9-holder. Let's see how this Fuji handles a bit of height, a bit of angle. Can it push around the corner and then fade over to the right at the end? Oh, that's the angle. And this is where a flat disc probably has more utility, because those Domi discs, even if they are very stable, they just want to hold that turn because they get more air underneath them. I'm assuming that's why. That's the only thing that I can fathom at the moment. So maybe the Zion will flex over a little bit sooner than the Fuji did. Oh, that's perfect if it fades. Yeah, the Zion's fire. Absolutely parked. Well, all right, we got another park job for another easy birdie with the Zion. Fuji wasn't quite stable enough, but I still really like that flight. Another tap in with the Seric. Anyway, guys, Latitude 64 overmold discs are some of the best overmolded discs that have ever been produced. And I would be really curious to understand some of the more minute differences in manufacturing between how these were made and how those MVP and Axiom discs were made when MVP and Axiom first started, and then how MVP and Axiom discs are made now. So I think MVP and Axiom definitely could learn a lot based on the quality of these discs. These are some of, again, the highest quality overmold discs that have ever been produced. I'm gonna have to track down a Gobi and then we'll do a follow-up video if you guys enjoy this one. But Zion, absolutely incredible disc. Got a bit of a chunk taken out. I'm sure some kind of rock did that to it. Had that on there when I got it. And then we've got the Fuji first run. Got this bad boy pretty much new. Someone just gave it to me because they know I like the Fuji. And then the Seric was probably the most surprising disc for me today. Just very deep Domi disc, but very stable and controllable, very point and shoot putter. That's good for power throwers or for average backhand throwers like myself. Very good frisbees. And then one last shout out to the Berg Sport V4. I'm so happy to finally have my hands on this beautiful mint disc golf bag. Been waiting for this for a long time, and now you guys can finally get your hands on one too. At the link in the description below, you can save 20% with my discount code. So go use the discount code, save yourself some money. I'll see you guys in the next video. Subscribe, hit the like button, and take care.